Today, we are ranking every single free game I have ever gotten from the Epic Games Store. Now, over the years, this has come out to over 20 games, and that's not including the ones I've long since deleted from my library. I've compiled this list down to exactly 20, so we're going to rank them quickly and concisely. But before we start ranking the games, let's go over the tier list. S tier. I think S is a must play. Like, even if you had to buy this game to play it, I think that's how good this game has to be in this category. A tier. It's a good game, and maybe you wouldn't buy it, but you would definitely play it given the chance. And B tier. It's a good play, especially since it's free. I think that's its main selling point. It's free, but it's a decent game. C tier is It's alright, but only because it's free. And that's the only reason. The absolute only reason is because it's free. And lastly, our F tier. It's literally just Concord. It's just Concord. And that's all I have to say. But hear me out, guys, okay? I'm a true gamer. I love video games. So it would take a lot for me to put something in the F tier. Alright? So ladies and gentlemen, let's set our bar. I think this is how you have to make a ranking list. You gotta set your standards. This game here is so astronomically good, I would pay ungodly amounts of money to have this game. That's right, folks. We have Balloon Towers Defense 6, an absolute banger of a game. I have sunk 100 hours of my life into this game. That's how good it is. So that is our S tier bar. And no spoilers, but there's only one game on here that beats this game out in terms of the amount of hours I have put into it personally. Next up on our list, we have the Callisto Protocol. My initial impression of this game was very much Dead Space, and I did no digging into the game, but then I realized it's the same developers. I didn't realize that. Now, don't get me wrong. I like Dead Space. It's a good game. Personally, for me, was not my cup of tea. It's C tier. I only played it because it was free. I didn't even finish it. Now listen up now, partner. I can't. Next up on the list, we have Farming Simulator 22. And I can't lie to you. I'm going to get serious now. I played this game for 30 minutes. I could not figure out how to drive my tractor. I could not. The tutorial, I hate this game. First F tier. Next up on our list, we have Islets. A game very reminiscent of Hollow Knight, which I just recently got into. I think this game is amazing. It's beautiful, the gameplay is good, and the little bit of world building that it did was amazing. I believe this game goes up to the S tier. I really think it does. It's a great game. My reasoning for the S tier is I believe if I would have got into Hollow Knight long ago, I would have seen this game and I would have bought it because it would have reminded me very heavily of that, and these are both great games. Alright, the next two games we have, I've played both of them on stream and were super fun and enjoyable for me and everyone watching. First we have Toem, super cute, cozy game about taking pictures. Had a lot of fun with this one, so I think it deserves to go in A tier. I love this game and it resonated with me well because I was a photographer for a long time, but I don't think it would go in S because I don't think I would have paid for this one. And now we have The Big Con. I don't have a lot to say about this game, but I found it super enjoyable, but I think I'm going to have to put it below Toem in B tier. Next up, we have a big hitter, GTA 5. I would like to preface that I have had GTA since it was put on the Xbox One. I've just never had a reason to buy it again for the PC because I wouldn't buy a game twice. So when it was free on Epic Games, I snatched it up and had lots of fun again with my friends who hadn't played it much over the years. I'm going to throw this on A tier only because I wouldn't buy it again and play it unless we were talking like right at launch. This game is newer to the free Epic Games library and I sunk about 2 hours maybe into it and I just didn't enjoy it. I think it had some potential, but it was a pretty big miss for me. So I'm going to put this at the C personally. And again, I don't hate this game, but it's just the only reason I played it is because it's free. It's not Concord, but it's just meh. Coming up next, we have A Plague Tale: Innocence. This is another one I played on stream and found it rather enjoyable, but the gameplay was a little repetitive, but the story was overall pretty good. I'm going to stick this one behind The Big Con on B tier, and I might would change that, but I was really into indie games last year, so we're going to put it behind it for now. The next game on our list will absolutely blow you away. I don't think you've played Such a masterpiece of a game. And of course, I am talking about Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion. If you like Zelda, but you like tax evasion more, then you already know this is an S tier game. Moving away from some of the other indie games we have, we now go to Ghost Runner. At first glance and first play, I wasn't super into this style of game, but I ended up finishing in it and I wasn't too displeased. I'm going to have to stick this one at the tail end of B tier. I believe this game was a little bit of a hit when it first released, but it died down super quickly. I played it solo for a short amount of time and it just wasn't for me. I'm putting this at the front of C tier only because it probably would have been more enjoyable with some friends, but again, it just wasn't for me. On the table now, we have Industria. It's a very simplistic game that's not so much of a pew-pew, but a puzzle game that kind of reminds me of Half-Life. I personally wouldn't pay for this one, but it's not a terrible game. This one's going at the back end of C tier. For this game, I'm just going to let you mull over this cinematic gameplay trailer that a fan made. This one's going in the middle of B tier for me. This game has been out for a pretty long time, but has received a lot of updates from the developers over its course. When I played this game for the first time, I had a hard time finding any matches, so that kind of left a bad mark for me. But if you like prop hunting games with a twist, you might enjoy this. But for me, this is the back end of C tier. Next up, we have a big hitter in the RPG category, Kingdom Come Deliverance. This game was added super recently to the catalog, and I've enjoyed it even though I am terrible at the frustrating combat. I'm going to stick this in B tier behind the big con. This is one of the indie games I couldn't get into. I have nothing against it because it's super nice visually, but just something about it I couldn't play. I want to be fair here because it's definitely not F tier because I think some people enjoy it. So let's put it at the end of C tier. This is getting quite lengthy, so let's speedrun these last 3 games on the list. Brotato, not my cup of joe, C tier. The Spirit and the Mouse, a fun platformer, also C tier. And lastly, Turmoil. And you know, who doesn't love Big Oil? B tier. All right, this is the official free Epic Games tier list. You know, I just had a feeling nothing on here would beat Balloon Towers. I mean, who doesn't love popping some balloons? All right, guys, let me know what you think about the list and if I missed anything important.